Dear students, in continuation of our previous video on soil amendments, the gypsum as a amendment, it is the most common amendment used for the reclamation of saline sodic as well as non-saline sodic. You may understand the difference between the saline sodic and non-saline sodic. Here the exchangeable sodium present in soil solution as well as some exchangeable sodium is also present on the exchangeable complex, that is called as saline sodic. But in case of non-saline sodic soils, exchangeable sodium is only present on the exchangeable complex, that is called a non-saline soil. So for the reclamation of both the type of soil, gypsum is the most common amendment because of it is having a low cost and the rate of reaction of replacing sodium is limited on its solubility in water, because the solubility is very less, that is 0.25% at ordinary temperature. For the application of gypsum, it should be mixed in the upper surface, that is upper surface of 10 centimeter depth of the soil will be more effective, and it is to be applied through broadcast method, just a spread of the of this gypsum on the surface of the soil and mix it with the help of disc plough. The application of irrigation water for leaching, or we can say ponding, is to be followed by application of gypsum to the soil for the leaching of exchangeable sodium beyond the root zone. The direct effect of gypsum is it prevents the crust formation, that means it protects the soils against the hard formation of hard crust on the surface. Also effect on the swelling, dispersion, and act as a mulch in case of surface application. The indirect effect of gypsum is it increases the porosity, structural stability, that means structures are remain whatever structure formation is that they are remain for long persistence. It also improves the infiltration and hydraulic property of the soil. It also improves the soil tilth, drainage and leaching, as well as it also reduces the dry soil strength. When this gypsum is added to the soil, as it is a inorganic chemical, the chemical reaction is also taking place for the replacement of the sodium by the calcium of the gypsum. Here in chemical reactions, capital X is indicated the exchangeable complex. So 2 atom is attached with the exchangeable complex. When we add the calcium sulfate as a gypsum, the calcium of this gypsum will replace the 2 atom of the sodium on the exchangeable complex, and sodium sulfate is remain there in the soil, which is highly soluble. So sodium sulfate as a which will dissolve in the soil, and this will be leached down with the irrigation, or we can say leaching irrigation. So that is why the irrigation with the sufficient amount of water is to be followed by the gypsum application. Here the second amendment is the sulfur. So here the soil containing alkaline earth carbonates, that means in case of calcareous soil, how sulfur will be act. So when sulfur is applied, elemental sulfur is applied to the soil, the microbial oxidation process will be undertake, and it forms a sulfide, 2 atoms of the sulfide. That's further sulfide will be hydrolyzed with the water molecules and form a sulfuric acid. So that sulfuric acid will react with the native calcium carbonate present in the calcareous soil, and by this way it also forms after dissolution of the calcium carbonate with the sulfuric acid, the calcium sulfate will be formed, and this calcium sulfate will react as the reactions given in the case of gypsum. So sodium atom will be replaced by the calcium sulfate, and sodium sulfate will be there in the soil solution, which may be leached down with the excess amount of the irrigation water. Similarly, lime sulfur or calcium polyphosphates may be having a same effect as in case of elemental sulfur. So here calcium sulfate rather is oxidized and hydrolyzed, forms a calcium sulfate and sulfuric acid. This sulfuric acid also react with the native calcium carbonate, and the combination of both calcium sulfate from the calcium polyphosphate and calcium sulfate dissolved by the dissolved from the calcium carbonate. So by this combined effect of calcium sulfate, the exchangeable sodium will be replaced, and the reaction is shown as per the application of the gypsum into the soil. Similar reaction is also taken, you can understand, the iron sulfate. It has also a acidic residual effect and forms sulfuric acids, and which will also dissolve the native calcium carbonate and form a calcium sulfate, which will replace the exchangeable sodium. Here the reaction of sulfuric acid and calcium carbonate, because we have to utilize the native calcium carbonate by dissolving with the help of sulfuric acid or acid forming amendments like this elemental sulfur, ferrous sulfate, calcium phosphate. So here it is the reaction here written here is when sulfuric acid is formed or produced due to the acid forming materials, it will be react with the calcium carbonate, native calcium carbonate, and form a calcium sulfate and calcium bicarbonate. So calcium sulfate is somewhat slowly soluble, but calcium bicarbonate is highly soluble, and when under this condition, this calcium bicarbonate as well as calcium carbonate would be available for the reaction with the exchangeable sodium. So one atom of sulfur when oxidized to sulfuric acid could theoretically result in the replacement of the 4 atoms of sodium ions by calcium ion. So you can understand how 4 sodium ion, because one calcium atom from the calcium bicarbonate and another calcium atom is from the calcium sulfate. So 2 calcium atom will replace 4 sodium atom from the by this reaction. Okay. Here the quantity of amendments to be added into the soil. Generally GR, we can say gypsum requirement. Gypsum requirement is considered as 50% or 75% of the gypsum requirement. So gypsum requirement can be determined by the in the laboratory by the Schoonover's method. So especially you can learn in your practical portion Schoonover method of the determination of the gypsum requirement. So whatever gypsum requirement is calculated, and on the basis of that we can apply 50% or 75% of the gypsum requirement. Here in table, the equivalent quantity of the other amendments against gypsum is given. Suppose 1 ton of gypsum is to be applied. So against that 1 ton of gypsum, if anybody want to use sulfuric acid, it require only 0.57 ton of sulfuric acid, only 0.186 ton of sulfur, but 1.62 ton of iron sulfate. So it is further more costly. Aluminium sulfate 1.29, calcium carbonate, that is limestone, it is further half, 0.58, and lime sulfate, that is called calcium polyphosphate, polysulfide containing 25% sulfur, it is also required by 0.7560 ton against 1 ton of gypsum. So among all these amendments, gypsum is the most common amendments that is used for the purpose of the reclamation of sodic soil. The rate of addition of gypsum can be determined by estimating the gypsum requirement only, that is by Schoonover method. And alternatively, the gypsum can also determined by the knowing the exchangeable sodium. So if we know the amount of exchangeable sodium, that is milliequivalent sodium per 100 gram soil, how much calcium sulfate or gypsum is required, we can also calculate. By that means there are 2 methods. One is the gypsum requirement by the Schoonover methods, and by knowing the exchangeable sodium on that is milliequivalent exchangeable sodium per 100 gram soil, we can calculate the gypsum requirement. So in case of exchangeable sodium, the gypsum requirement for replacing 1 milliequivalent of sodium up to a soil depth of 15 centimeter comes to about 1.92 tons per hectare. So it is fixed. Since ESP, exchangeable sodium percentage of 10 and below is considered, because what is the limit of exchangeable sodium percentage for considering the whether the soil is alkali or non-alkali. So 10% exchangeable sodium percentage is considering safe for tolerant physical condition of the soil. And replacement of calcium to this level is also that is attempt on in I think Nerekti. Here So this is about the replacement of exchangeable sodium from uh, uh, alkaline soil, rather alkali soil. But how we can replace the or reclaim the acidic soil? Because acidic soil having a problem of low pH and the higher hydrogen ion concentration and aluminum and iron content on the exchange complex. So that in that acidic soils we should have to a replacement of the hydrogen ion concentration from the exchange complex. So the reclamation of acidic soil is done by addition of liming materials, which may be a calcitic limestone, that is CaCO3, or dolomitic limestone, that is a combination of calcium and magnesium carbonate. The rate of lime requirement is determined by the laboratory method by Shoemaker, that is a scientist who developed the method for the lime requirement of the acid soil, Shoemaker, in 1961. The particle size of liming materials affects the rate of neutralization reaction. Both this that is limestone, calcium carbonate and calcium and magnesium carbonate are sparingly soluble in pure water, but do become more soluble in water containing carbon dioxide. So when we have to increase the solubility of the calcium carbonate and calcium and magnesium carbonate, we should have to we should have a system for the pressurized calcium carbon dioxide into the soil. So greater the partial pressure of the carbon dioxide in the system, the more soluble of the limestones becomes. But dolomite is somewhat less soluble than calcite, that is CaMgSO3 is somewhat less soluble as compared to CaCO3. The reaction taking place on addition of calcium carbonate in acid soil, how it is taken, how this reaction is taking place. When CaCO3 is added to the soil, acid soil, it will react with the that means it will be hydrolyzed, and in presence of carbon dioxides it forms a calcium bicarbonate, which is further highly soluble. So this calcium bicarbonate, due to its solubility, calcium will be goes on the exchangeable complex for the replacement of H atom from the exchangeable complex, and this is further form a carbonic acid H2CO3 and neutralize as a water molecule and carbon dioxides. So in this reaction, hydrogen ion, just a minute, so in this reaction, hydrogen ion in the soil solution react to form weakly dissociated water and calcium ion from limestone is left to undergo cation exchange reactions, and the acidity of the soil is therefore neutralized, and the percent base saturation of the colloidal material is increased. So base saturation, we have our main aim of for the reclamation of the acid soil is the exchangeable complex must be having a base, saturated with the base cations like calcium, magnesium, and by replacing the hydrogen atom. So by this way, any limestone materials that can be react with the acid soils. Here in between that, the gypsum, why gypsum is not considered as a liming material? Sometime it is asked in your examination, give the reason, scientific reason. Because for the reclamation of alkaline soil, alkali soil as well as acidic soil, it required it required calcium. But the source of calcium for alkali soil is gypsum, and the reclamation of acid soil, the source of calcium is limestone, calcium carbonate. So why this gypsum is not utilized for the reclamation of acid soil or considered as a liming materials? Because on its application to an acid, dissociation dissociates into calcium and sulfate ion. Though the calcium may be replaced the hydrogen ion, but simultaneously the sulfate will react with the water molecules. The accompanying anion, that is sulfate, and it reacts with the soil moisture produce mineral acid. So this sulfate will be react with the water molecules present in the soil, which will produce the mineral acid, that is sulfuric acid, which also increase the soil acidity instead of reducing the soil acidity. So that is why here important reason why this gypsum is not considered as a liming material for the reclamation of acid soil. Now the beneficial effect of lime. Here the list out beneficial effect of the lime is listed out. First, lime makes phosphate more available. As you know, the phosphorus fixation is there in the acid soil as a aluminum oxides and hydroxides, aluminum and iron oxides and hydroxides. But when we add the lime, it increase the soil pH, and by increasing the soil pH, this phosphate may be more available. Lime increase availability of nitrogen also by increasing the nitrification and nitrogen fixation rate. By favorable effect of the liming materials on soil pH, it also increase the microbial activity for the nitrification as well as nitrogen fixation. It increase the soil pH, and which favor the microbial activity and increase the organic matter decomposition also, and nutrient transformation for the root growth. So this is the important beneficial effect of liming materials. You also know the molybdenum, which is essential for the rhizobium nitrogen fixation in the leguminous crops. This process is also increased with the increase in the soil pH followed by the liming application. So molybdenum availability is increased due to the increase in the soil pH by liming application, and further it also react enhance the rhizobium nitrogen fixation. The liming application reduce the toxicity of the aluminum, iron and manganese, because these all three cations are more soluble in acid soil. So as the pH is increased due to liming, these cations are became less soluble and the toxicity may be reduced. Lime is essential source of essential calcium as well as magnesium if dolomitic liming stone has been applied as a liming material. So calcium and magnesium, they are also act as a essential elements. And finally it causes an increase in the CEC, which reduces the leaching of the base cations, particularly potassium. So by this way the liming materials has a beneficial effect on the soil. Some examples for the calculation of the quantity of the gypsum for the reclamation of alkali soil is given here. In case of example number 1, a soil containing 12 milliequivalent sodium per 100 gram soil. CEC of the soil is also 20 milliequivalent per 100 gram soil. So exchangeable sodium percentage is to be reduced to 10, because 10% exchangeable sodium percentage ESP is favorable limit for the reclamation of the alkaline soil. So work out the gypsum requirement. Your whatever given in the reddening, they are the formula. You have to remember it for the solving this type of examples. ESP, the formula of ESP, exchangeable sodium percentage, is equal to exchangeable sodium per 100 gram soil divided by CEC into 100. So in this example, exchangeable sodium is 12 and CEC is 20. So 12 divided by 20, and it is as per it is in percentage, so multiply by 100. So the exchangeable sodium percentage is 60. But the favorable ESP, exchangeable sodium percentage, must be 10. So it's how much ESP is to be reduced. For that, initial ESP minus final ESP. So initial ESP is 60. And finally we should have to create the or reduce the ESP, that is 10. So 60 minus 10 is equal to 50% ESP is to be reduced by applying the gypsum. So for that, how much gypsum is to be applied? So exchangeable sodium, how much exchangeable sodium is to be replaced, and by that way we can gain a 10% exchangeable sodium percentage. So for that, here for 60% ESP, if there is a 60% ESP, there is a 12 milliequivalent sodium per 100 gram soil. So how much for the 50% exchangeable sodium percentage, how much exchangeable sodium is there? So 12 into 50 divided by 60 is equal to 10 milliequivalent exchangeable sodium per 100 gram is to be replaced for gaining the 10% ESP. So gypsum requirement, common formula you should have to remember, that is gypsum requirement is equal to 1 milli equivalent exchangeable sodium per 100 gram of soil is equal to 86 milligram gypsum per 100 gram soil. That means if our soil containing 1 milli equivalent sodium per 100 gram soil, we should have to apply 86 milligram gypsum per 100 gram soil. So it is in 100 gram soil. So 86 milligram per gypsum in 100 gram soil. So 860 milligram per 1 kg soil, and that is milligram per 100 gram, milligram per 1000 gram, that is called a ppm also. So it require 86 ppm gypsum for replacement of 1 milli equivalent exchangeable sodium, and 860 here multiply by, that is ppm divide multiply by 2.24. You know the constant factor for the multiplication of ppm into kg per hectare. So ppm, 860 ppm multiplied by 2.24 is equal to 1926.4 kg per hectare, and that much of kg of gypsum per hectare is required for if soil containing 1 milli equivalent exchangeable sodium per 100 gram soil. So here we should have to replace 10 milli equivalent exchangeable sodium from the 100 gram soil. So that is why this gypsum requirement is multiplied by 10. So it is a 19,264 kg per hectare. That is around 19.2 ton per hectare. Here we should have to consider also the purity of the gypsum. Generally, gypsum which is available in the market, it is not pure, maybe of phosphogypsum or this mineral gypsum. Here the 80% purity is given. So for making more efficient, it should be multiplied by 80. So instead of 19.2 ton per hectare, if we consider the 80% purity of the gypsum, it requires 24 ton per hectare gypsum. So considering this all hectares, this is the solved exam. The another solved example is the calculate the GR of alkali soil containing CEC 20 milliequivalent per 100 gram and 10 milliequivalent exchangeable sodium per gram soil, ESP reduced to 10. Same example I think is above. The ESP is equal to 10, that is exchangeable sodium percentage, divided by CEC, it is 20, multiplied by 100, it is a 50. So 50% ESP is there. Our favorable ESP is 10. So 50 minus 10 is equal to 40. So we should have to reduce 40% ESP. So if exchangeable sodium percentage is 50, at that time exchangeable sodium milliequivalent per 100 gram is 10. So 40 ESP is equal to how much exchangeable sodium per 100 gram soil. So 10 multiplied by 40 divided by 50, it is equal to 8 milli equivalent exchangeable sodium per 100 gram is to be reduced. So further calculation is similar as given in the example number 1, that is GR gypsum requirement is equal to 1 milliequivalent exchangeable sodium per 100 gram is equal to 86 milligram gypsum per 100 gram soil. The next calculated example is the soil soil having CEC 40 milliequivalent per 100 gram. It has sodium 20 milliequivalent per 100 gram. So bring down the exchangeable sodium to 10%. Calculate the percent sodium. How much sodium is to be replaced as to be bring its saturation to 10%, and calculate the gypsum requirement kg per hectare. Gypsum purity is the 80%. So further, ESP is equal to exchangeable sodium milliequivalent divided by CEC into 100, that is 50% ESP. So initial minus final, it is 40. ESP is to be reduced. So here exchangeable sodium milliequivalent sodium is equal to ESP multiplied by CEC divided by 10. So ESP is 40, that is to be reduced, and CEC is also given 40. So divided by 10 is 16 milliequivalent sodium per 100 gram soil is to be replaced. So once we calculate the how much milliequivalent of sodium is to be replaced, by that way we can calculate the further amount of gypsum requirement for the reclamation of that alkali soil. The next example is a soil have CEC 25 milliequivalent per 100 gram of soil, which possess also 5, 8 and 3 milliequivalent per 100 gram of calcium, magnesium and potassium respectively. So we should have to calculate the quantity of the sodium in milliequivalent per 100 gram kg per hectare and K2O kg per hectare. So generally CEC is considered as the summation of calcium, magnesium, potassium and sodium. So here the amount of calcium, magnesium and potassium are given, sodium is not given. So CEC minus calcium, magnesium and potassium will give the amount of milliequivalent sodium per 100 gram. So 25 minus 5 plus 8 plus 3, that is 16. So 25 minus 16 is 9 milliequivalent per 100 gram. And here the another formula you should have to remember, that is equivalent weight into milliequivalent. Milliequivalent into equivalent weight is equal to milligram. So 9 milliequivalent per 100 gram multiplied by 23 milligram per 100 gram. 23 is the molecular weight, is equal to 270 milligram per 100 gram soil. So this is the amount of milligram of exchangeable sodium in 100 gram soil. So if by adding 1 0 for the per kg, milligram per kg, that is 2070 ppm, and by multiplying 2.24 we can calculate the ppm into kg per hectare. But in case of potassium, here we should have to calculate the K2O kg per hectare. So potassium atom is 3 milliequivalent per 100 gram, and further milliequivalent into equivalent weight, 39 is the equivalent weight of potassium. So 3 into 39 milligram per 100 gram is a 117 milligram per 100 gram, 1170 milligram per 1000 gram, that is ppm. 1170 ppm, ppm multiplied by 2.24, that is 2620.8 kg per hectare. And for the conversion of K to K into K2O, it should be multiplied by 2.9, sorry 1.2, 2620.8 multiplied by 1.20, it will give a kg K2O per hectare. So this is solved examples. Now I have also mentioned it is also called a soil conditioner. Soil amendment, sometimes it is also conditioner. So soil conditioners are the material which are used to bring about the required physical properties of the soil, or it's used to improve and maintain the physical condition of the soil. So which are the soil conditioner? Here the crop residues, organic manures and other organic materials are considered as organic soil conditioners, and other synthetic organic materials which are used as a soil conditioners are polyvinyl alcohol, that is PVA, carboxymethyl cellulose CMC, and Kirilium conditioners. So these are the some synthetic organic soil conditioners. So these materials used to form soil aggregates, or they used to stabilize soil aggregates. Soil aggregate nothing but soil structure, and this stabilization of the soil structure formed by mechanical manipulations. However, its application is found restricted to greenhouse or glass house, or in growing high value crops like vegetables, ornamental plants and spices and condiments. So naturally available soil organic manure or organic soil conditioners can be used, but that type of synthetic organic materials as a soil conditioner are only used in the limited area like greenhouse, glass house, or for the crops like high value, that is vegetable, ornamentals and spices and condiments. This is some assignment you have for the calculation of the examples to be solved. I think you can understand this topic, importance of topic, and if any query regarding this topic or other topics of the AgChem 2.2, you are free to you feel free to ask me by telephonic, or you can ask through our group. Thank you very much.